Jen, one last question.
So,
If you could give one advice to your younger self, what would that be?
other than the ones that we've already
Yes.
said,
Mhm.
the biggest one, in addition to not being afraid to fail, is just love yourself
Mm.
unconditionally, unconditionally, unconditionally. Like, just keep yourself in so much love. Have so much love and compassion for yourself. If you're able to love yourself like that and have that much compassion for yourself, it really won't matter what else is happening.
Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to the Eye of Rose podcast. It's your host, Rusnaini. Today, I'm beyond excited and deeply grateful to share this heart-opening conversation with the radiant Jen Cohn. Jen is an actress, voice artist, and creative soul, known for her powerful work on stage and screen, and for bringing the character Farah to life in Overwatch. Her journey is filled with joy, so much laughter, and full of wisdom. Together, we talk about the courage to trust your gut, the peace that comes from setting boundaries, and the importance of loving yourself unconditionally, even when life feels busy and a little bit messy. So, wherever you are, maybe on the walk, driving, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself, take a deep breath. Open your heart and enjoy this soulful conversation with Jen Cohn. So much love. When you look, everything is ordinary. When you see, everything is extraordinary. Welcome to Eye of Rose, a space for deep, soul-led conversations with yourself, with spirit, and with the unseen. I'm Rusnaini, an intuitive guide here to help souls remember who they truly are, to heal and awaken the truth already living inside. This podcast is for those walking the path between worlds, where healing, intuition, and inner wisdom rise from within. Here, we don't chase perfection. We return to the essence through soul, the part of you that always knows. I'm grateful you are here. Jen,
Oh, me too.
thank you. I'm so happy. I'm so honored and so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much.
I am so excited to be here. I was so excited and honored when you wrote and asked for me to be on, because I adore you. I think about you so often. So you're like always a part of my consciousness and subconsciousness. So it's very great to hear from you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. When you replied to that, and I was like, yes, Jen, thank you. Yeah. So about this podcast, it's just so random. I know that I always need to, like, the message that I receive, I always need to be put out there, like just talk, just share something. But I feel like I have this doubt. I have so much doubt in myself. Like the biggest thing to me is my English. I was so terrified that people don't understand what I'm saying, and I will forget what I'm about to say or what I'm saying, because oftentimes that I connect with people, I can see that they're like, it's like I have a big question mark on top of their head, so I feel like, okay. And then just a little over a month ago, I just doing my meditation and simply asked, like, what do I need to do in terms of work? And the answer is podcast. And I was like, no way. You're kidding me, right? Like, come on. Why? Like, seriously? So there you go. There where it all
as someone
started.
who's known you for a handful of years and who is a communicator for a living, I have never thought that you lacked in any way in your communication. You always have been a very clear communicator. So it like shocks me, honestly, when you tell me that you're self-conscious about it or that you have any self-awareness about your ability to communicate. I understand sometimes if you're afraid you're going to forget a word or something, but you have always been so clear in your communication, in what your intentions are, in who you are. So that part surprises me. You should really never question that. Like that's you always come through your you-ness.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. It means so much. Thank you. So I want to start with you, like with the very beginning. Oh gosh, you know, when I see you, I see God expression of joy. That's what I see you since the day one that I met you. Like nothing else, nothing more. It's pure joy when I see you.
Do you know I describe myself often as a joy hog? Like
Really?
that is regularly how I describe myself. Yeah. Yeah. I lap it up. I'm such I love being in those places, and I really cultivate as much of a joyous frequency as possible. So the fact
Wow.
that you've always seen that really
Mhm.
means a lot, because I don't know if you and I have ever had this conversation. I always have felt like you and I have been divinely connected. I just have always felt like you see me, you get me from the time that we met. And mind you, like for anyone listening, we met in a big group online situation. So it's kind of strange in that context to single someone out and be like, her, we get each other. She sees
Yeah.
me. We're connected. And then
Yes.
when you told us that you were going to go by your full name, Rusnaini, and that it meant Eye of the Rose. And I think I told you, so my name in Hebrew is Shoshana, which means
Yeah.
rose. So
Yeah.
I said, oh my God, of course, the Eye of the Rose. Of course she is. So yeah, I thank you. So it means a lot to me that you spotted me. You called me out.
Yeah. It's so sweet to me when you said like, "Oh my eye of rose." That's when you call me. I'm like, "Jen, touch me." I'm like, "Wow."
Like, yep.
Yeah.
And
Oh
and there
wow.
have been moments in our, we don't talk a lot, but there have been
Yeah.
moments in our relationship where I'll have just been thinking of you, or have like sent a message through the universe, and then I'll hear from you. Or
That's
so, like
yeah.
I've always felt like we're divinely connected. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Jen. I always wonder about you. Do you always know that you have gifted voice? Your voice is something special?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Only because from the time that I was very young, um, that was always the thing that was applauded. I would do funny voices. I would do big voices. I could be loud. I would do something funny in the play. I could do accents. Um, I I often was put into big character roles when I was in plays because I had this big voice and this big presence. And I always loved doing it. So even when I was pursuing all my other pursuits, I knew that my ace in the hole was my talking, was my ability to talk and my voice.
Wow. I love when you speak in French. Like that's spot on. Like how? Jen.
I've said, I think, I think I'm French in my heart. Je suis française dans ma cœur. I always have been. I just, yeah, I don't know. I don't have any French family. But I just took to it so quickly. I went right to French when I
Wow.
started speaking. I always wanted to learn how to speak French. And then when I started speaking it, I didn't have any grammar or any, I had a few words, but I had a great accent. And so I would lean into this terrific accent with terrible grammar. And so then through high school, I would always like arrive at class late and would like dramatically throw myself into the doorway of the classroom. Like, Madame, j'ai une histoire pour vous. Madame, I have a story for you. And I would like in my terrible French, like have a story. And I always got great grades in French because I think she got such a kick out of how much I loved it. So
I
like,
love that.
yeah, I always loved
Wow.
it. I loved it.
I
So
can I can also see you speaking in Russian accent or Russian language.
I have done a bunch of stuff in Russian accents. I had a big ad campaign many years ago where I had this like Russian model accent that I had to do. That was really fun. That was great. That was like, oh my gosh, I haven't done it in ages. Wait.
Wow.
It was for direct TV. It was voiced like this, and so she was very. I'm trying to remember exactly how was Ed. It was like that. It was very fun. I had a very good time with this. It was awesome. I had a really good time.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I can
fun.
see that clearly. Yes. Wow, Jen.
Fun times. Fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
You travel a lot? You
I
still
do travel a lot. I
Yeah.
haven't traveled a lot for the last. I would say since my son has been in high school, I've traveled less. When he was younger and when he was in elementary school, middle school, I was able to just sort of work it out with school and drag him around and I had it all work. But since he's been in high school, I've been more in New York. But yeah, and I would travel. I would be in Paris for fashion weeks, and my husband and I would both be working in LA and in New York. And then I love to go travel just to see other places, to go vacation. And then I started doing Comic-Cons years ago. I haven't been doing them very much for a while now, but when I was doing a lot of Comic-Cons, I was away a bunch. And that was a little bit difficult also because I had a kid and a life and things. So it made it hard, but I really love to travel. I love to run around. I love to see different cultures and get steeped in citizen of the world stuff.
I see your son is mini you. Like he is you and fun and in a mini.
Not
mini
so
version of
mini
you.
anymore.
I know.
Not
he grew up
mini.
so fast.
He's giant. He's big. He's got a deep voice now. He's like Mr. Cool. Like
but he's so
weights.
fun.
He's
like
so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I love his personality. His face. When I see him, I'm like, yeah, Jen.
He's
so
character.
mini you.
He is a character, and he has a very good sense of himself and a very good sense of like his place in the world. And he's not afraid to speak his mind. He just won. He's the president of the student body, so he's going back to school. And he'll be the president. It's like he's terrific. He's such a kick. He's a character. It's been so much. I love being a parent. I love being a parent to my kid. He's just awesome. So,
oh my gosh,
it's good stuff. It's yeah. I feel like that about your kids. I feel like your daughter is your mini me. Whenever I see her, she's just like you, and she's so cute in her energy, and she's sassy. She's adorable, and your son is adorable. Oh, it's so nice.
I just cannot imagine that teenage life, like, oh, give me a break.
It comes so fast. You're not going to believe it. It all happens in a blink. It happens so quickly. It's so funny that we're talking about this. I listened to your amazing episode with Jen Hale, who I love, who's a wonderful person. She's actually who to thank for me meeting you. She is who brought me to Jim. She is who, so that was, and I was listening to her and talking about the different phases of parenting and how different it is. And I gotta say, with the whole ride, I enjoy it so much. I enjoy the sections where I'm humbled. I enjoy the sections where I'm challenged. I feel like he's raising me as much as I'm raising him. I feel like my biggest parenting lesson has been that he really knows what's best for him better than I do. And I keep being taught that again and again. Like, the model of that, I will tell him what to do because this is how he should be, because this is not, it just simply, it isn't being proven out. Whenever I have encouraged him to trust his gut, he's been right and I would have been wrong. So yeah.
I love that.
prefrontal cortex development aside. There's
Right.
all of that. But
Yes.
a number of big decisions, things
Mhm.
that I would have thought that I would have said, no, this is the right thing to, I would have been wrong. He was right. So,
Wow.
yeah. And so now we're looking at colleges, and what he wants out of a school is so different
Mm.
from what I wanted. What he's looking for
Wow.
is just night and day different. So, and that's really fun
Yeah,
because I
that's
see
exciting.
it's
Yes.
just different eyes. It's such a
Right.
different way to see it. So yeah, I've really been enjoying it. I'm going to be
I
so
love
sad
that.
when it's time for him to go.
I know.
Be
My
so
gosh.
sad.
Yeah. And
Oh,
to me, I also see the kids as the teacher who taught me to stay integrity. You cannot tell them yes, and then next thing you know, like, no. And like, what do you mean?
yep.
It's like, oh, all right. You
And
know?
when you say you can't do this or something will happen, that you have to follow through,
Yeah.
like
Like, why?
consequences,
Yes.
boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
teaches you to have to do it. Like you can't be
Right.
lip service. Well, you
Yeah.
learn that if you're just lip service, then
Yeah.
no one can trust you.
Right.
But if you say what you mean and you mean what you say, then you actually can get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
amazing.
Like more and more, we see the kids as a guru in the little bottle.
Yeah.
That they keep growing and keep growing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they are. It's
Yeah.
amazing, isn't it? That they're
Yes.
so wise,
I
that they
know.
know so much,
Right?
that
Yeah.
you
It's,
come in knowing so much. You know,
and yes, apparently we don't know much,
right.
you know?
It's that double, it's that two-handed thing.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember, what is it? It's like an old Jewish adage where you're supposed to have two rocks in your pockets or two notes in your pockets. And one of them is supposed to say, I am the master of the universe.
Mm.
And the other is supposed to say, I am but dust.
Oh.
And so you're supposed to hold both of those truths at the same time, that you understand your power and you understand your ability to create, but also have real humility and understand your place in the universe and not get ahead of yourself. I feel like that's what parenting teaches you. Like
Oh my
parenting
gosh.
is always that lesson.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing that. That's also what I learned from DX, that know yourself.
But
Know
that's
yourself. Yes. And also stay humble. It's like, oof.
It's all exactly the same thing. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's all the same thing.
Absolutely.
My grandmother, my father's mother, when I was very young, used to always repeatedly, I mean, it always played in my head, remember who you are, remember where you come from. Remember who you are, remember where you come from. And that theme has been echoed throughout my life. And who I've been and who it is I need to remember that I am sometimes changes. It's like aspects of myself that I might have forgotten or let go of, that I need to come back to, or that I need to acknowledge, or the fullness of who I am that I need to come back to. I love that that's what DX tells you.
Wow.
Do you know, it's so funny. So I went through a phase a while ago where I felt like every now and then DX would like drop me a little note to say hi, like there'd be like a sign with a DX, or there'd be a license plate, or there'd be something just to be like, oh, hey, it's me. Just letting you know. And he hadn't done it for a very long time. And after you and I communicated, right after that moment that we said that I was going to come on the show, I put down my phone and I smiled to myself. Oh, this is so great. That's so terrific. I said, DX, are you hearing this? And I look over and there is a license plate and it's J-DX.
Oh,
I started laughing. I said, oh, okay,
wow.
good. So yeah, it had been a while. It was very nice.
Well, you mentioned that, and now I'm going to start.
Do it. I want to hear.
So when you say yes, I ask for his blessing. You know, as I ask his blessing that I'm going to have a conversation with you. And at that time, I already knew what I'm gonna wear. I already saw myself. It's just like that quick vision. And it's funny because so many times that I see him in Sedona, he's wearing this dark blue jeans shirt. So I was like, oh, all right. And I just said thank you at that moment when I saw that vision. And then you sent me a picture yesterday, that all blue. And I was like, okay, I saw that picture. It gave me a whole body goosebumps. It seems like it's not seems, but it is all connected. When you think about it, the brain cannot comprehend it, but it is all connected. It's just in the circle.
I
Uh,
I don't need my brain to comprehend.
mhm.
I feel it
Yeah.
so deeply
Yeah.
and so truly.
Yeah.
And again, like I've said, my eye of rose. I've always felt like you're sort of a point person between me and the Don.
Hmm.
Like I'm not quite woo enough to go calling Mandy.
You are.
I'm just not. I mean, I'm woo. I'm woo. Don't get.
Yes.
But I'm like,
yes.
I never called Mandy. I don't see
Mhm.
myself doing candle ceremonies. I
Yeah.
don't. But I am very plugged in and I'm very good with the universe. And the
Mhm.
universe and I have a very great thing going.
Yes.
And it has strengthened tremendously since getting in touch with all of that.
Yeah.
And I, I, I love that you got to see it. And I'm so excited that you told him that we were going to talk.
Yes. Yeah. So this is for people who don't know. DX is the shaman that is very powerful shaman. You cannot find him in the internet, and like he's very private. And in order to connect with him, how do I explain that?
Do you want me to give my
Yes,
inexperienced
please.
understanding? Okay, so
Yes.
my inexperienced understanding, it's a thing where it's not. I'm hearing someone behind me. Sorry. In my inexperienced on that level understanding, you have to go through. You have to know who to call. You have to go through his wife. You have to get on a very, very, very long wait list.
Mhm.
And he has to be called to want to connect with you.
Mhm.
And then there is a process of ceremonies that you would go through before you would initially connect with him.
Yes.
My understanding of him and my, I want to say, astral connection to him is because I connected with you in a group that was formed by his brother-in-law. And that's how I became aware. And I, through that, became aware of teachings. And there were certain things as I was working on myself that I connected to deeply enough that, again, every now and then I felt like, ding,
Yeah.
ding. So
Yes.
I feel like he gets me.
Yes.
I feel
For
like
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. He has this huge sense of humor that, oh gosh, he is so funny that he called me a rascalita. He called me a worm inside tequila. So he said like, that's what he called me. So this is funny story that one day I went visit him and then come home at the airport. There's this man, Mexican man, at the restaurant welcome me like, hello, speaking in Spanish, which I didn't understand what he was saying. All I said, gracias.
That's
And
yeah, great.
then, and what interesting is that he said tequila, and I was like, oh my gosh, really? So
There
I
you go.
I know that's DX behind it all. Like, come on, so random. Like, why is it tequila?
Right.
But like with wink, tequila.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No,
And I'm like,
he knew exactly what he was doing.
yeah,
He was nailing you. He was
I
getting
know.
you.
Yeah.
That's so
So
funny.
back to the shaman. So he is not the shaman like in the public eyes. He's the shaman that you cannot find him. Like if you search for him, if that makes sense. But at the same time, you have to be open to receive that connection with him.
That
So
makes, yeah,
that's what I see.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
can see that. I can see that. Well, I'm a big fan, and it doesn't surprise me that he would be really funny. His energy feels funny. So
yeah,
I could see
it
it.
is. It's so funny. So
It's great.
so
Ah,
Jen, this is back to your style. I want to go back there. Like
okay, let's go back there.
I love your style. I love the way you show up to the world, like the way you dress up. It's just so fun. I love it. And who inspire you?
Well, for sure, my first inspiration was my mother. My mother, who has tremendous style. She used to be a children's accessories designer. And so she was sort of the first person who ever made like hipster, high fashion accessories for children in the US. Like there were fancy accessories for kids, but there weren't like super stylish ones, like cutting edge stylish. And this is before the days of fast fashion, before there was an H&M, before there was a Zara. So before the Gap. So it was costly, but she invented it. And of course, I was who she was putting all of these clothes on. And so she
Wow.
impressed upon me the importance of putting yourself together. But really the way she empowered me through style was she would work at these, she would sell her stuff at these trade shows, and we would go to these trade show floors, and she would bring me along with her for the day. And what she would do is she'd give me a clipboard. And at the time, she probably started doing this when I was 6 or 7. She would give me a clipboard and a pen and have me walk the whole trade show. And she said, write down what you're seeing, what trends you're seeing, what's happening. And so each season, I would walk a trade show and notice what new things were popping up. And then if there was something that I really loved, I would go and talk to those designers and see if like they would sell me a sample at the end of the show. And I could go back to my mom and say, can we get the blah, blah barrettes, or can we get the gold loafers? And this, because it's pre-fast fashion, I would have the item like a year and a half before anyone had it in a store, before it was being made for regular consumption. So I loved that. And I loved it. That was sort of the beginning of me understanding that fashion and style is really a canary in the coal mine. It's a representation of our global zeitgeist. It's the same thing. Voiceover is this way, particularly in advertising, but in animation and games as well. And fashion, they're reflections of what's going on in the collective subconscious. And if you're able to sort of pick up on what those things are, you'll see the first bubbling of either a trend, like a fashion trend, or a vocal trend, or an animation trend or thing, before it goes mainstream and before everyone is actually aware of it. And it tells you about what's happening in the culture. Like, like if suddenly, if sudden, pardon me, if suddenly like the color schemes get very dark, or like, or what, there was a moment where I remember seeing this big rise of chunky crystals used by like one designer from Germany, one designer from New York, one designer from Helsinki. And then the next season you'd see 20 designers who did it. And then the following season, which is a year and a half later, everyone is doing it. It's something that just sort of bubbles up to the surface as a result of what's going on in the world. And the same thing happens if you've been in voiceover for long enough. Like I've had a long enough career that when I started, vocally, ads were much more demonstrative. Voice actors were they would emote. You'd hear like emotions, and you remember like older ads where, so if you like the blah blah, that. And then there was a point where every audition I had, the direction was make it flatter, make it smaller, make it flatter, make it smaller, make it quieter. And that's because the young people who were writing those ads had stopped talking on the phone and had started texting. And so they were suspect of anyone who was emoting when they talked. And so that sort of crushed how people communicate. And so it taught you about how people learn how to communicate. And then you see what the themes are in different games or what the trends are in different games. I always am looking, no matter what my pursuit is, for zeitgeist. It's like I'm always trying to understand what's happening in the world, reflect what I'm feeling, and then see what's happening and sort of say, oh, wait, is someone, I always call it having an antenna to God. When I see a designer or a writer or someone who like consistently can connect with what's happening with all of us in hive mind, picking up on people with an antenna to God, it's always fascinating.
Wow. I love that you mentioned that. It just proved to me that the importance of our home, our environment, because your mom taught you to be confident, to stand up tall for yourself. And that really beautiful lesson. And I wish everybody experienced that.
I agree. I'm really grateful to have learned that. I think that she would have benefited. I love her very much, so I don't mean any disrespect when I say it. I think she was more concerned with teaching about the surface than she was about building an interior life. And so she taught about presenting, and then I had to learn about living from the inside.
Yes. Wow.
And so when it came together is when it felt more authentic and obviously and more actually integrated and truer.
Wow. I love that. That's so beautiful. Like, I always see you so deep. You are very thoughtful. And do you always feel that way since you were a little kid? Like you can sense.
No, I don't. Wow. Yeah. I think I always was very thoughtful. You know, I was very young when I was taught to meditate through acting school.
Wow.
Like I started drama school very, very young, and they would have us all, meditating. And so then I would get on the school bus and lead like the class trip in a meditation, or at sleepaway camp, I would lead the group in a meditation, things like that. I always, my ears would just perk up anytime that I heard something that felt resonant. Like I didn't realize for a very long time that it literally was about frequency, that it was about just about me picking up on a frequency like it's a radio station. But I always went toward the radio stations where you got to choose what station you were on. Like you could choose to be on the upbeat station. You could choose to be on a station that would take you to high places. And I didn't really understand that until I was older. And of course I questioned it. Of course, I went through my always and continue going through and always go through periods of questioning those things. But at this point, I really understand the importance of staying connected, and that the most important thing is always tuning my frequency and always being tuned to joy. That's, with all of this crazy stuff going on in the world and with how much there is and the onslaught of it and how easy it is to get pulled into a fight or a debate or a disagreement or a disappointment or all of these feelings. And then recognizing like, no, that frequency is not your frequency. Like choosing to go there is not where you belong. Get yourself on the frequency that you belong on if you want doors to keep flying open for you. I feel like that's been my main work for this stretch. I remember us being in a conversation, in a big group conversation with Jim. Oh, I love how woo-woo we're going here. This is so much fun. I never get to do this. This is great. Where Jim said that DX was like, am I allowed to curse on your podcast?
Yes, of course.
Oh, thank God. Okay, good. Thank God. That DX had said something along the lines of like, buckle your fucking seatbelt. Things are about to get really crazy. And and having no idea what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful to have come to some understanding of my being responsible for keeping myself taken care of and keeping myself even and parenting myself and staying plugged into my energy, because things then got nuts. You know, I had a moment. I have a very great marriage. I have a very, very happy marriage and a very great partnership with my husband. Like, I chose really well. He chose me and I chose him and I chose really well. And
I love that.
He's excellent. And I'm married for 21 years now. So of course there are times that it's difficult and there are times that it's easier. And in what felt like the most dangerous, difficult moment, was like the only moment ever in our marriage where I really was frightened, was like, oh my God, is this going to work? Which is, and in 21 years for it only to have one time to feel that way, it's not a lot. But when I had that, I remember because you and I have almost the same birthday, because both of our birthdays are this week. My birthday's Friday and yours is on Thursday, right?
Yes.
Right. We have almost the same birthday. So
oh
it was
gosh.
my birthday
Yeah.
in 2023. It's 2020. Yeah, my birthday 2023, and I was walking alone on a beach. Get very plugged in on the beach. Like that's a big place for me to plug in. And I was walking on the beach and I was crying. And I was saying like, oh, and I got to stop and ask myself and say, okay, what's going on? Why are you crying? What's going on with you? And we'd had like a very stressful trip. We were on a long road trip. My husband, my son, and I, we were eating terribly. My son was screaming in a Scottish accent in the back seat of the car for almost a month. My husband was driving on the wrong side of the road. It was just, there were like all of these things. And so I'm crying. And when I was quiet and could ask myself, like, why are you crying? Immediately I bubbled up to myself and answered, because I don't know what's going to happen.
Wow.
And that's when I was able to say, well, but you never know what's going to happen. You will never know what's going to happen. So why don't you focus on doing everything you can to take the best care of yourself that you can, to know that you are stable and buoyant and balanced. And I had a very focused, meditative 6 weeks, and I got myself into this really higher frequency state. And that's when the war in Israel started, when October 7th started, which sort of was a real toppling point in my community. And so I was so unbelievably grateful to have steadied myself and balanced myself before that, because I was trying to imagine if I had been in a state, if I hadn't done the work I had done in the preceding years and was vulnerable to being sort of thrown off or tipped off the way I could have been, I feel like all of this would have been so much more difficult. And so, and maybe I wouldn't have been open to all of the crazy openings in the universe that have happened since. All of the wild things that have happened, all of the crazy and amazing ways that portals have opened and opportunities have opened and life has changed and awarenesses have grown. And it's that crazy thing of, in such unrest, so much has become clear. I mean, it's weird to say I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have found who I am in this time. And maybe that wouldn't have been possible in a different time.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. That's so deep. Thank you, Jen. And going back to what you were saying, you said that beach is the place that you liked in. What else that you do? Like, do you have any other ways for you to ground yourself when life getting hectic?
I'm a big journaler. I love to journal. I do for many, many years. I started journaling as a teenager. And then when I was in college, I read Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a bunch of practices and systems that she describes, but the key one is doing morning pages, which means every morning you write for 3 pages, and it can be
Wow.
anything that you just download. And it doesn't have to be profound. It can be anything. You can write blah, 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 blah for 3 pages. Like it's nothing. It's literally just sort of a download.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm not disciplined about doing it. I am imperfect in my practice of this, but more often than not, I will wake up in the morning. I will like tune myself. If I've had any really interesting dreams or any messages that I think I know, I write them down quickly, or I leave myself a voice note. I get up and I stretch. I love listening to Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. So I typically will like get one in, and then I'll put on music, and then I'll write my 3 pages. And that's my primary meditation. But then I also love doing like visualization exercises. I love doing like a WOM sort of thing. WOM is a exercise that Rusnaini and I learned when we met, where you visualize yourself sort of in this room that feels very safe, creating things. I like to walk. I like to walk and think. So when I'm walking, either the beach is the ultimate. For me, there's nothing better than being by myself, doing the walk on the beach, cycling. I might end up recording what I'm thinking into my phone. I might be listening to music. I might be listening to something really inspiring and put some ideas together. I might be like sending up a request for something. You know, that I had some wild experiences this summer where I would connect and then immediately see results from things that I had sent up.
Wow.
Which is why I know I feel like it's when I know that I'm very connected is when it's speed. Where it's like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. And I try to expand my mind and take away any space between like the request and the reality showing up. I love that. What else? What other practices? It's all very much in the course of life. Like I don't typically, not typically, I don't go away on like yoga retreats. I don't do like, I actually like whenever I would go into with some exceptions, because there's some yoga classes that are great. So I don't mean to knock all yoga teachers. I know yoga is great and everything, but I find that often like the yoga teacher is someone who like needs yoga so badly that that's how they became a teacher, and they did work with their body, but they aren't as connected. And so I go in and like I get angry and I just want to be like a 14-year-old and paint my nails black and light a cigarette or something, and like it's not good. It's frustrating. I much prefer talking to someone who actually like has stuff to impart. But I feel like everyone has stuff to impart. Like there's so many places, and when you get into the spiritual practices of all of these different cultures and all of these different practices, everyone is saying exactly the same thing. That's what's so wild. It's the same message, whether you're talking to a Buddhist monk or DX or a Kabbalist or like everyone's saying the same thing. So it's really, are you a Bravo TV Real Housewives person?
No, but tell me. I want to know.
It would be hard to imagine that you were, but if I'm trying to. So, do you know who Andy Cohen is?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that guy. Okay, so that guy.
Yeah. Yes.
That guy. I have been meaning to write that guy a note for ages. I really have to write him a note.
Yes,
so
please.
I really have to.
Yeah.
He puts up these videos he has 2 very young children. There's a toddler and like I think a 5-year-old, 4-year-old. And for a few years, he posts these videos of himself talking to his children. And they're very funny and they're very short and they're cute and his kids are characters. And he is so loving and supportive and generous in the way that he talks to his kids. He really makes space for them to mess up or have crazy opinions. Like I remember there was one where his toddler son was like sneaking downstairs and eating all of the Reese's peanut butter cups out of the freezer. And so he found him with a stomach ache behind a chair and he didn't eat breakfast and he tried to talk to him about it. And he was so sweet about it. And he said, look, why are you not eating breakfast and you're eating all the Reese's peanut butter cups? And the kid is like, because I love them. Andy's like, I love them too. And they're delicious. I know, but you have to have a healthy breakfast. You have to, or the kid didn't want to go to camp because he was committed to having a bad day. And Andy tried to talk to him about having a good day, that no, he could choose to have a good day. And the kid is like, no, my calculations are that I will have a bad day. And Andy's like, well, okay, you and your calculations. All right. You if you need to have a bad day, and I would watch these videos and I kept saying like, wow, I didn't have a parent who made that kind of room for me. Like if I had eaten all the Reese's peanut butter cups out of the refrigerator or the freezer, it would have been like, what are you doing in all of them?
Yes.
That's not what you're supposed to, like it would have, it would, I never would have been spoken to like that. And, or what is ridiculous? You in the bad day. Like I can hear what would have been said. And I kept saying, wow, listen to how he parents. He's such a wonderful parent to himself. Like, to himself, to his children. He's so, and I kept saying, that's the way I need to parent myself. I need to Andy Cohen myself. And so I would be on the boardwalk and at the beach, and I would like visualize me talking to myself, and I would call it Andy Cohening myself. And I would talk to myself like I was Andy Cohen. I was like, wow, Andy Cohen should really know that he inspired this. Meanwhile, I realized as I'm, having this visualization of being able to talk to myself, my little self like this, and feeling very connected to the universe while I'm doing this, that this is actually like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all, here I am imagining Andy Cohening my little self on a boardwalk but it's all the same. Everything is the same thing. And it's just all about making room for yourself and having compassion and staying clear and connected and allowing yourself all of your feelings. And I just can't get over that it's all the same. Whether it comes to you through Andy Cohen and his kid or in some, the Pope, like it's the same message.
I love that so much because we are vibrating in different frequencies, and one person may resonate with you, the other may not. I think it's important to remind yourself that it doesn't matter if you think that people don't hear what you're saying. It doesn't matter. There will be people out there will hear your message.
Yes. And sometimes it's just for you to hear.
Right.
Like sometimes there are little, crumbs dropped just for you and not for anyone else. Or
yes.
I mean, how many times is there a lesson that you've had to hear it like 5 times and it's only on the 5th time that you actually can receive it? Like there've been so many lessons that it's taken repeated exposure for me to get that I needed to have it come enough times in order for it to hit me. So I think
yes. Yeah. This is just came through like 3 days ago or a few days ago, somewhere around that. It's about when we are having conversation with someone and then we feel resonate with what they're saying. It's not because of the story they tell, but the resonance of that person, who they are being in that moment. And I finally come to a deeper understanding about that. I was like, very interesting. I got it. So
that's
it's not
fascinating. Yeah, it's not about the story.
No,
it's about how they're vibrating. It's how they're resonating.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is absolutely true. That's why you need to potentially go through a bunch of different teachers. That's why you need to potentially, in order to get it.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And there's another thing that came through after that is that when we having conversation with someone, it's actually magic in action, because you don't know what I'm going to say and I don't know what you're going to say. And how come from, let's say, from a minute that you share a story, only one or two things that will click in me, right? It's the reason why, because when I capture that one or two things from what you're saying, it's based on the frequency that I'm at in that moment. And I was like, it's interesting.
This is the most important quality for an actor is acting is listening.
Yeah.
Acting is listening and responding and being really present in order to take it in. And it's the same thing with life. It's the same thing with life, of just being able to be present enough to actually hear what is being said to you, instead of presuming you know what's coming next, instead of like jumping on it. There's always going to be interpretation of what someone says, and you can only be responsible for communicating what you're trying to communicate as best as you can. But you also have to be responsible for listening actively and not passively, or put all of the onus on the speaker. Like, as much as you can know about where they're coming from, then that can fill in what that intent was, or where they're coming from in general.
Wow, that's deep. Yeah. Wow. Jen, what is the biggest lesson that your journey has taught you about yourself?
Always trust your gut. Always trust your gut. The times that I have gone wrong have been when I was in a battle between my head and my gut. And I mean, and they generally aren't like giant protracted battles, but if there ever is a situation where my head is telling me this is what I should do, but my gut is saying otherwise, my gut is always right. So always trust your gut. Don't take yourself too seriously.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I mean,
wow.
Yeah. Don't take yourself too seriously. Don't take any of it too seriously. Like, there is no such thing as it going wrong. It just might lead you to the next thing that you're going to do. You have no idea what the next thing is that you might end up doing as a result of that thing having gone sideways. I've had so many wild career twists and turns and crazy new opportunities that have opened up because of something that I did, that then I said, oh, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm going to bend and go here. Like, so you can't take any of it too seriously. Like, and you can't take any fear of failure too seriously. Be willing to fail, be excited to fail. Because that means that then you're amassing experience, and you know that you are buoyant no matter what the situation is. What else? Yeah, those are big ones for right now. And again, where the biggest lesson right now keeps on being: choose the joy. Choose the joy. That is the path. The joy is the path. You think that that's a righteous path. You think that's the path you're supposed to do. You think that's again, there it is. Look, it's the head versus the gut. Choose the joy. The joy is always the path. The joy will take you where you're supposed to go. The joy, the excitement, that's the ride. The rest of it, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That remind me of Don Juan book. In I think the one in the teaching of Don Juan, he said there's two paths. They both lead nowhere, but always choose the path with heart, because the one without the heart, I can't remember exactly the word, but the one with heart, it always bring you joy, all that. And where both path leads to nowhere. And I was like, wow. And always choose the one with the heart. Wow.
I love that.
Yeah. And what you said, it's like, yeah,
it's the same
absolutely.
thing.
Yeah. because it's
Yeah.
oftentimes we forget, like we forget to follow our heart. We just chasing that acknowledgement from it started from our parents, and right, like,
And the sense of, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is dutiful. This is how I take care of things. This is the mission.
yes,
This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what, well, if I
yeah,
want that, this is what
yeah,
and I, the what I'm supposed to do is never the thing that, or, I mean, look, obviously you have a life, you have family, you have children, you have stuff, but in terms of which path you choose, it's always, where is it exciting? Where is it fun? How do you gamify it? What's the way? Obviously, how can you be helpful? But that's also filling. That's also like the joy. That's where you can be filled with joy because you're being helpful in a situation. Like, that's choose the path with heart.
yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so deep. Wow. Talking about dream,
Yeah.
when you said that you are
It is.
journaling
It's
and
beautiful.
you write down your dream, I remember my dream this morning. I saw
Tell me.
an avatar. I cannot recall if it's a man or a woman, but this being is blue. And it's not dreaming. It's in between waking state, like
Yeah.
about to wake up. And I always, not always, but most of my seeing in that time. And I smiled when I saw that being, and I was like, oh, thank you. I just say thank you, and I recognize him or her. It's just so funny because when I saw your blue picture yesterday, I saw an avatar. And this morning, between that waking, what do you call for that? Wake
When you're
and
in twilight, when you're in that in between state. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Like
I
a
saw
dream
that.
state.
Right. I was like, when I lay down, in my left side, like about to get up, but I still closed my eyes and I saw that being. I was like, oh, I was like, thank you.
And they felt good.
Yeah.
It felt good.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. I'm sharing that because I just now remember about that dream when you speak about journaling your dream. I was like, ooh, I didn't even write that down.
Not last night, but the night before last, I had a series of a couple of dreams, and I know that they're both telling me the same thing, but I wrote it all down, but I'm not exactly sure yet what it means. But it was repeating the same message. And it was about, in the first one, I was in, well, in both of them, I was in Brooklyn. I was in New York. And one, I was with a friend, and this is so funny. I can't believe we're talking about this. I was with a friend, and there was some very fancy, like hipster hotel, and I wanted us to go and have some really posh, watching some sunset thing that they offered from their beautiful deck. And so I said, "Oh, let me take you. I'll treat and I'll take you." And we went in, and the seating wasn't quite what I expected, and it wasn't so great. It wasn't terrific. But they said, "No, no, no, we'll take you for the experience." And they took us out, and they had us in, like, it almost felt like we were on safari. We were like out on a plains. It was me and this friend, and then another old friend of hers was with us. And we all sort of looked at each other of how ridiculous it was. Like, why did we bother coming to this fancy hotel for this? We could have just stayed out and done this. Like, there was no need to go in through that. And then I was in a different part of Brooklyn. Mind you, I don't live in Brooklyn. I'm not in Brooklyn all the time. So this was very funny that this was all Brooklyn based. And I was in an ice cream parlor, an ice cream place where they had ice cream bars. And I was with all of these like very loud yelling people. And there was a big jostling line. And there were two kinds of ice cream bars that were like the special ice cream bars that they were offering. And the third was the ordinary one that you could get everywhere. Mm. And I was in the line, but I was really like good. I was like in good spirits and good spirited. And there was all this jostling and fighting. And so I let someone go ahead of me. I was like, "Oh, come on." And and then there was some other kerfuffle. And I said, "No problem. Let me get here." And so I helped someone else in the line. And as a result of me being in like really good spirits and in a good mood and whatever. I wound up far back in the line, and I got up to the line, and it was time, and all they had left were the not special ice cream bars. And I said, well, this is stupid. Like, I could have bought this ice cream bar at any bodega. I didn't need to be in here and do all of this. Like, you knew I was here. And so, and it repeated twice in one night, this theme. So I need to assign, I know it's something. There's obviously a thing I am supposed to take from this, but I'm not sure exactly where to apply it yet. I feel like I have those sometimes, and then sometimes I'll have like a strange animal encounter that I then have to write down. I love those. Those are good. The weird. Yeah.
What came through while you're speaking about that is generosity. How you say it? Generosity.
Yep,
generosity of life. It keep repeating generosity.
But I never feel like I'm ever shorted. So the fact that
it's not you. You are being generous. That is what it is. What I see, that you are being generous. If you pay attention on your dream, that you are the one that giving.
Yes, I'm always the generous one. But what I don't know what to make of is at the end, because at the end it's like, it didn't need to be like this. It didn't need to be like this. So that's where I never will take it to mean that I shouldn't be generous. I love being generous, but I'm not sure exactly where that the lesson is.
Boundaries?
Maybe it's boundaries. Maybe it's boundaries.
Because you let other
boundaries.
people. Yeah.
Maybe it's boundaries. I don't feel I'm never in a bad mood from any of it in the dream. But maybe it's more food for thought. Okay, now I'm gonna have to write about boundaries. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, because you question yourself too in that dream. You said, why am I here in this fancy hotel?
Why am I in the ice cream parlor? Why am I in the hotel? Why am I in Brooklyn?
Why?
What am I doing here? Well, maybe it's boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay. More writing to do.
Yes.
I've got to journal about this more. That's really good. I like that.
Yeah, because we don't see it ourselves, right? We don't see ourselves in that way. Just like earlier when I shared to you how thoughtful you are, and you are like, really? Am I thoughtful? Like, because it comes naturally. When things come naturally to us, we don't really think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we just don't.
Yeah. And I've done, and I am aware of boundary work, and that will always be something that I work on for sure, boundary work, but I feel good about it, but maybe that's something to look at. Not maybe, that's definitely something. That's another interesting thing to look at.
Yeah.
I haven't felt particularly unboundaried right now. I've definitely gotten better about that. About where I need to take care of myself, or where I need to have a break from people, or from people's needs from me, for sure. But I feel so fortunate. I feel like there are so many people and situations where people have been so incredibly generous with me.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. I have such gratitude for the generosity that's been shown to me. So I wonder if I need to think about that. Maybe I'm overextending.
No.
I'm feeling that. No, I'm not in general. That's an interesting, never in general, but I'm wondering if that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I see you as so generous with your energy. That is you. Every time that you show up. One time I went to TikTok, and you were there live on TikTok, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exciting. And then I go in there, and how generous you are sharing your wisdom to these young kids. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just now able to see more and more in both ways, where how can you learn something when things are good, and now also how can you learn things in a situation where things aren't so good, And when I started to be able to see in both ways, that's when I finally come to see myself where I can dance in between. So it's like a back to the boundaries, like, oh, I can create boundaries even when things are great. I can create boundaries not only when things aren't going the way I want it, you know.
That is resonating with me tremendously. I've had a really crazy experience of that specifically, and I haven't resolved that yet. I don't quite know exactly where that lands me. I don't know the answer to that. I'm so happy that you saw me doing one of the TikTok. So for anyone listening, so before COVID, I'd started doing style content for gamer fans on Twitch and then on TikTok, and I was connecting fashion designers with gamers. And this wonderful project that I really love and loved putting together. And once COVID hit, a bunch of my gaming fan community, what they really needed was to be in community and to talk and to be heard and to be listened to. And I created a series called Ask Bird Mom, which was real talk advice streams that I did consistently throughout COVID and then beyond. And they were a weekly stream where kids would come on live or send in questions or come in and voice. And we talked about the entire gamut. It was this beautiful, beautiful community that I got tremendous fulfillment for being there for this gorgeous community that we built that I loved and felt really good and felt like giving to, because this community had been so generous with me and so kind. And it's funny. Wow. Oh, I'm so happy that you're talking to me about this. We're really going here now. And after October 7th, 2 years ago, when the world kind of went upside down, a portion of my community sort of decided that my being Jewish was a problem. And yeah, which was really shocking, was really quite stunning. And I had and I had a series of advice streams where I got attacked in an advice stream, like, which was really stunning because I'd spent, these years building this very safe, very loving, very warm community. And then it felt like there was no way to foster that in public anymore. And so while I've spoken, in smaller groups and I've had other conversations, it sort of stopped. And that's wow. And so just what you just were talking about, and having boundaries when it's good or when it's bad, I think it was so stunning that I didn't quite know even how to progress with that project in this current environment. Like, there are other projects that I could be present for, but if there wasn't a safe way to proceed in that project, then I just wasn't going to be able to do it, which was really crushing because that was like a very upsetting thing. And it's funny. Like, I find myself being generous and giving in all of these other communities, but I haven't quite resolved where to go forward with that. You know what I mean? But it's exactly what you're saying of how do you dance in the middle? How do you dance in the middle? And where do you don't have the answer yet? I don't know the answer.
I trust you have. You already have it.
Really?
Yeah, you have.
You think I already know?
Yeah, yes.
All right, Eye of Rose.
I see it. You have it. You already have the answer. Look, just what we talked about earlier between those two paths. Those two paths, they lead nowhere. Right?
They lead nowhere.
One with heart, one without heart. And you always said that follow joy. And you have the answer.
I love you. Okay,
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
On it.
I love that. I really love it. I love it so much. And yeah, you are so generous about it, about your energy. And that's one thing I learned, that being generous is not just about material things, but the most important thing is with your energy. And I was like, ooh, when the first time I heard that, it hit me good, because I always using my left brain, looking up on my dad, how he just want to give and give and give to people even when he had nothing. And I learned from that is that I have to prioritize everybody else, being generous with that material things. And I never seen my energy as something that I could also give or share in that way. I couldn't see it because I was so focused on that material things. And then I learned quickly that your energy create impact on those people that connect with you.
I feel like I can always trust my source to
Mm.
generate energy. Like
Mm.
I think of myself as being like a vessel that way. I had to learn how to, like, when I needed to protect myself to regenerate,
Yes.
or when I needed to. That was something that I had to learn how to do. I didn't know I would deplete myself
Mm.
and then have to like take time to regenerate. And so I then got better about understanding, like, okay, this is what I have. I have to keep this much in reserve for myself, and then I can give this much. But I always feel like it's self-regenerating. I never feel like it's not available. So
I love that.
yeah.
Jen, I have question. Well,
Okay.
I have questions.
Okay. I love
This
it.
is this is work related.
All right. Work.
What do you work on these days? Like, what is it that excites you the most?
Well, the most exciting thing that happened that I worked on recently, this is, you know what? You're going to love this. This fall, talk about things falling into my lap. Talk about joy. So this summer, I was walking down the beach and I was like in a very higher state. And I was thinking, I was frustrated about something. And I was saying, like, I need a new, the projects that I've been working on recently, I'll tell you, have been more about writing and creating than they've been about voicing and
Mhm.
performing. And so I was like, I need something to physically scream. I need something that, an outlet like that. And as I'm walking down the beach, and I went to this restaurant I'd never been to before, and I ordered a salad, and I sit down and I pull out my phone, and a childhood friend has texted me, who I haven't spoken to in many years, asking me if I will be in this play that was in an off-Broadway theater that, when, I know I haven't done a play in decades. Like, I've done lots of on-camera work, and obviously all the voiceover, and I've done film work, but I haven't done a play in decades. And she said, there's an emergency where they need to recast this off-Broadway show for this festival. And the only person she could think of who should do this role is me. And I'm like, and she sent me the script,
Mm.
and it was a great script. It was an excellent script. And she said it's for a workshop for this festival. And so I thought that she meant it was a staged reading, which I love to do a staged reading. I'm like, that sounds terrific. I'd love to. And a day later, I speak to the director and the playwright and one of the producers, and that's when they say to me, we would love for you to do it. We would love for it to be you to do it.
Mm.
They looked at my reel and they'd looked at my things, and you know, these things don't happen, that a play like this drops in your lap when you haven't done a play in decades. They said, but it's not just a reading, it's a full production. So you have under 3 weeks to memorize the whole play. I was the
Wow.
main character in the play. So it was like 80 pages that I had to memorize in under 3 weeks, and all the staging and the running around and the dealing with the props and all the stuff. And I had just gotten out to the beach for vacation because it was during holidays.
Yes.
And one of the things that I love about this particular place that I like to go to the beach is that it's one of the few great beach places around New York City where you can
Mm,
actually get back and forth easily. And I always tell people it's one of the things that I love about it.
mm,
So I was able to go, oh my God, this sounds scary and exciting and incredible. Yes, done. I'm doing it. And so I was able to run back and forth, and I would either take a ferry or a subway to rehearsals and go to my rehearsals and then come back to the beach. And I was entertaining family and friends and doing all these things, but then going back and forth to rehearsals. And I managed to get my brain to memorize a whole play in this really short amount of time. And it got really scary a couple of times, but even that was exciting and fun because, you know, there's so few situations you can put yourself in that makes you so frightened that it's like you're being chased by a lion, but there are no stakes. But it's
yeah.
the road, you know, the road to nowhere, but with heart. Like there
Oof.
were no stakes.
Mhm,
It didn't matter how it went.
mhm,
It would be, you know, it would be great or it wouldn't be great, but
mm,
hopefully it would be great because I was having such a good time. And so it was the first time I had ever done a play where it didn't matter where it
mm,
went. It
mm,
didn't like I wasn't when I was younger and used to do theater, it was always in the back of my mind of where was this going? What would this lead to? What
mhm,
was the next thing that would happen
mhm.
because of it? Who would see it? Like what would it
Yeah.
mean I got cast in next or whatever?
Yeah.
And this was really the first play I ever did that I only was doing purely for the joy of doing this play. And I had the most amazing, electrified, incredible time. I had so much fun. The play wound up winning awards. We wound up having
Wow.
these packed houses. It was in a theater I had always wanted to work in. I had so much fun and it was so exciting. And I just felt like all of my nerve endings were awake from it.
Mm,
So that was the most exciting thing that I did recently. And so now I'm
yeah.
saying to myself, do I want to do more theater? Because
Yes.
maybe I want to do more theater if it turned me on like that and I got to be so present like that,
Yeah.
then maybe that will come down the pike. So I don't know. We'll see. That might
Oof.
happen. But the
I
thing that
love that.
it, it was thrilling and the way that it fell into my lap, it really felt like a gift. Like it felt like
Yeah.
oh, you'd like something right now? Here's something right now. Here you go. This, and it forced me to be so present,
Mm,
like to have this period of time where really the only thing to focus on was the challenge and joy of doing it.
mm.
My husband kept on calling it like it was like what's that show, the American Ninja Warrior.
Oh,
He
it,
said this is like American Ninja Warrior. It's like we'll all stand on the side and cheer while you
yes.
do the thing and you climb the rope and you
Yes.
swing and you do, because normally when you do a play you have at least 6 weeks, you have weeks of rehearsal, you have time, you have, so to do it in so little time
Yeah.
with, you know, with so many
Just three
years since I'd
weeks.
done it last.
Yeah.
So I had to have it memorized within two. I mean, it was a lot. It was great. It was
Wow.
wonderful. Yeah. So
Uh,
that was a blessing. That was my favorite thing of, by far my favorite project of the summer. Like of all the things that I've been working on, that was like
yeah.
that felt like a feat. That did. It felt like I like snuck in a little marathon, an unexpected marathon. So that was
Wow.
awesome. Um,
Jen, I can tell that is your gift because when you talk about it, your whole body just lights up. I love it.
I
I
lo-
love that.
yeah. I mean, a project that's that encompassing and it is purely for the joy of doing it, like that's just for the joy of doing it. Like that
Oh my
was
gosh.
just, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that frequently about projects that I work on, but
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't, I, free, I have the great good fortune of having a job that I love. And so I get
Yeah.
to do all these things I love to do. But
Mm.
it was the first time I ever got to do that thing. and be totally present. When I was
Wow.
younger, I wasn't totally present when I would do it. So
Yeah.
that was very cool.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So what else that exciting, like that you
So
are working on,
the
that if you
cool,
can share with us?
the thing that I can talk about,
Mm.
the thing that I can talk about that I'm working on is I've been working on a TV show with my husband, which is really fun. It's so we're in this very nice groove of me being like helping him develop a show, and that I had done it in an unofficial capacity for years on different films,
Mm.
but this was the first time that in an official, like, go to work every day capacity that I've been working on it on this TV show. And that has been really fun. Like, I was the kind of kid who played with Barbies. Like, I was a big Barbie person and a paper dolls person, and I was always kind of like the bossy one who like said, this is what the game is. And this, so this time we're playing where, we're going to be at the parents' house. And this is when Barbie and Ken are going to go do this. And then the friend's going to come in. And then everyone sort of had to do the plotting out a TV show is a lot like that. It's a lot like when you see people like engrossed in like figuring out, where does the plot come in and which character does what and how does their story arc go. And so nothing prepared me for it more than my like extensive Barbie play as a child. Like that definitely was the prep work. So that's been the really fun thing that I've been working on consistently that I can talk about all year. And that's been great. Yeah,
Wow.
it's been really fun. Yeah.
Okay, you cannot share more
I
of
can't
that.
talk about,
Ah,
I can't. Well, this one, because who knows what's going to happen. It's such a
yeah,
weird thing,
yeah.
but for the joy of like, it's set up. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if it,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
we're
yes,
further along, but it's
yes.
been really, really fun. So,
Oh,
and it's fun to work with my husband in that capacity. Like, we're at a place where it's like, I have such tremendous respect for what he does. We've worked together on projects in different capacities, but this is the first time that I officially was like in the writer's room on something. So
yeah.
I've been working that way. So it's been great. That's been very fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
I love
Jen,
that.
where can people find your work, your
So
artistry?
right now, there's a bunch of places that you can see my stuff right now. Well, there's actually, what today is today? Oh, is it today? It's
To
today. Today there is a new update to Overwatch being dropped. So I voice Farah in Overwatch. So that's being dropped today, season 18. So you could hear my
wow.
voice in that. It's the 25-year of anniversary of Avatar: The Last Airbender this summer.
Mm.
So people are all super excited. And that's another instance where my character's main line is always remember who you are. So that brings us back to
Wow.
remember who you are. So there's her. Um, if you're a TV person and you have Hulu, I'm in a TV show that's on called Welcome to Chippendales, and
I'm gonna watch that now.
I play a great character, and that's with Kumail Nanjiani, who plays the main character in it. And we had like a wonderful time, and I play his lawyer in it. And so yeah, that's playing on Hulu. There's a film that was this incredible project that I did that is on Mubi now. It just spent the last year and change doing like the whole circuit at festivals, and now it's playing. So it's streaming on Mubi, and it's called Grand Theft Hamlet. And it's all about these out of work actors creating a production of Hamlet all inside the game Grand Theft Auto. And so it was an amazing project to do when I did the play, when I actually did the production of Hamlet in Grand Theft Auto. But then this documentary film, it's a narrative documentary, won a bunch of awards all over the world and won
Wow.
at South by Southwest and went all over the world. And now that's playing on Mubi. And then I have a new movie that is just started the awards circuit that's
Mm.
incredible called My Underground Mother. And that one it's amazing, about this woman who found out about her mother's secret life. It's true. It's another documentary. Her mother's secret life, where she was in a work camp during the Holocaust, on the German-Czech border, and uncovering all of this stuff about this secret life about her mother's that she didn't know. And in that one, I'm a voice in it, along with some other really amazing people. Plus, I voice directed for the first time. I voice cast the rest of the cast, and I voice directed, which I've never done before and really enjoyed. So yeah, so that was like a new thing to do. So that now is hitting the circuit. It just premiered in San Francisco, and I believe it's going to be it'll be in New York in October, I think. But yeah, I'm sure I'll post about that too. But that's just premiered, so that's out there in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really
You
fun.
are just spreading this light and joy everywhere, Jen. I love
More
that. Wow.
projects. Thank you.
I
Thank you.
love that. I'm going to
So
watch it.
fun.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to
Good.
find it.
Oh, do it. And with your kids, you should watch Grand Theft Hamlet. It's just awesome. It's so,
Yeah.
I don't think the Chippendales will be appropriate, but
That one I will enjoy. Yeah, I will enjoy it alone. But with the kids, yes, I will do that too.
With the kids, with the kids, Grand Theft Hamlet's amazing. It's incredible.
Wow. Oh, Jen, one last question.
So,
if you could give one advice to your younger self, what would that be?
other than the ones that we've already
Yes.
said, the biggest one, in addition to not being afraid to fail, just love yourself unconditionally, unconditionally, unconditionally. Like, just keep yourself in so much love. Have so much love and compassion for yourself. If you're able to love yourself like that and have that much compassion for yourself, it really won't matter what else is happening.
Oof. Yeah.
Like, because really, whenever we're distraught, it's because we're looking for that somewhere outside of ourselves. But if we're able to generate that and keep that for ourself, me for myself, like that's, and that my love for myself should never be conditional. I would tell my young self, it should never be conditional on what you've achieved or how you appear or what accolades you got or how much you have or what you were wearing. Or can you admire things? Sure, but that isn't what the loving yourself is about. Loving yourself is just totally unconditional. That would be my biggest lesson, to have that kind of love and compassion for yourself without condition.
That's
because everything else is possible after that.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Wow. That reminded me of what DX said, that when you condition love, love die.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I've had the experience of, I will be enough if I do this. I will have been, I will have achieved if I've achieved this, or I will. And you hear stories and you see people where that's the case, where they think if they get this much money or this much success or this much or this thin or this whatever. But if you can just absolutely love yourself wildly, no matter what, like, it all will be fine. Whatever it is will be fine, and it won't matter who else does or doesn't or what else happens.
Wow.
Like, then you're really safe.
Yes.
Then you're safe.
And
then
that's
it's all possible.
Absolutely. Jen, thank you so much. Thank you for all of this. Wow. What an honor.
Me too. I've never done an interview that was like this. I've never done an interview where we got to talk about like the woo stuff and then actually like go into the. Thank you. Look how good you are at this.
Oh my gosh. So Jen, I'm still learning and I still have so much to learn. And yeah, I'm just so grateful.
We all have so much to learn. Me too. All of us. I'm so grateful. Me too. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much. I love you. I'm sending you a big hug.
I love you. I'm sending you a big hug. I love you too. Mwah. Eye of my rose. Mwah.
Mwah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.